Welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. First things first, Matt Reeves, the Batman, as being reported by Discussing Film, is potentially eyeing to begin filming on December 9th. And that's like a month after what Boris Kidd over at the Hollywood Reporter had said that they're trying to make it eyeing a November production. So which is all good and well. It actually confirms what even Matt Reeves had tweeted out when that night when he was started answering tweets from all sorts of questions. But one thing was that he was eyeing for the end of the year to start filming the Batman, or at least we're calling it the Batman for now. Now that could only mean, and this is just speculation, I don't know, that could only mean that they've already have someone in mind for the Batman. They've already casted someone, they've already tested him, and they're ready to go with him as soon as we get towards the end of the year. I'm thinking they're just going to hold off an announcement until closer to maybe after Shazam, possibly. I don't know how this thing works. I don't know the reason why they're holding on to these casting choices. And, you know, Armie Hammer continues to deny he's being not that he is. I'm just saying that people keep asking him. And, you know, Robert Pattinson was supposedly a candidate, but now he's in something else, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So who knows who's going to be the Batman? And it's one of those crazy characters that people are really want to know who's going to play the Batman. We have so many fan castings. It's just like the super role of Superman and all these other characters. It's just like we want to know who is that person. And I'm thinking, you know, maybe after Shazam, maybe even, you know, it would be crazy to, on San Diego Comic-Con, Hall H, and he says, and here's the new Batman, you know, just whoever that is walks out onto the stage and announces, hey, I'm Batman, you know, or I'm Batman, you know, something like that. But there's a date now, December 9th. Let's see if they can still hold it. Let's see if there's any more problems with the production. But even Matt Reeves did say he's eyeing for the end of the year, and that seems like the end of the year. Now, on to a rumor. This is regards to Wonder Woman 1984. Grace Randolph saying, I'm hearing the origin of Cheetah in Wonder Woman 1984 has been totally changed, and that now she's more of a fan who makes a wish to be like Wonder Woman, which goes horribly wrong. How would you feel about that? She put a poll out. 64% of 7 to 200 votes said interesting. 30% says that's comics accurate or GTFO. You know what that means. And 6% says love it. So it's very they're thinking interesting, but they have to see it first. So this ultimately is from Grace Randolph after all. So that's why I'm calling it real rumor based. But the idea of Cheetah being a fan and makes a wish to be like Wonder Woman instead of actually, you know, her Minerva's actual origin in the comics is interesting. And I want to see how that actually plays out if true. I hope, by the way, that she becomes you know, like prosthetics, which we haven't seen, or CG a cheetah rather than just a cheetah costume or something like a, you know, just cheetah outfit, but you know she still looks the same. And she, you know, I think I would rather have some kind of, to make it look like the character in the comics as well. So that's what I'm more concerned about, not in terms of origin. I think that origin could still work, and especially how it looks like in the behind the scenes. She's like very nerdy and stuff, and then she looks up to Wonder Woman being that big, strong, and she wishes to be like that. It's kind of weird, but it does have those magical elements into that as well, so that could work as well. But I gotta see. We just gotta see how it turns out, and if that is even true altogether. I hope it's not the situation where like Electro in Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I hope it's not that type. Or like Riddler with Batman in Batman Forever, something like that. I don't like that, So, but we'll see. We're gonna have to find out. Keep an open mind. And by the way, this is Grace Randolph after all. She's the one that says that Wonder Woman 1984. It's supposed to be the flashpoint of the DCEU. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if that actually turns out to be true or not. But it is quite interesting, the remarks that she have made lately about Wonder Woman 1984. Okay, next one is more like a wish, okay? This is not a rumor. This is nothing spectacularly big or anything like that. I mean, it's big for Christopher Nolan fans. Christopher Nolan, he's been put on a pedestal, and rightly so, for making the Dark Knight trilogy, Interstellar, Inception, started out at Memento. He's such a great director. Dunkirk, So he's one of those like Quentin Tarantino, where like, what's his next film? What's his next film? He's those type of directors that were really eager, and for myself, like Zack Snyder, what's his next film? So it's like he's at that level, and it's amazing trying to figure out what's his next project is going to be, and we kind of have hints about that, right? We were told about, at first it was like it's going to be a romantic comedy or something. People were like, what? And then like, oh, that was wrong. So it's not going to be a romantic comedy. That's not how it's going to be at all. This is going to be a totally different film. So it's very secretive, and I love that about his films. I love that we really don't know what it is until we get closer. That's the exciting part about it. One insider is describing this pick as a massive action blockbuster, okay? And so I'm like, wow, I want to see one of those again. I want to see Christopher Nolan doing something like that again. It's cool to see that. Now, what's interesting about this is that the people are being tapped into playing this. First, we had John David Washington, right? And from Black Klansman, and we're like, well, he's a lead. Oh, okay, cool, massive, So some people are like, wow, he make a pretty good Jon Stewart, right? And then Robert Pattinson joins the cast, and you're like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. And I'm thinking in my own head, I'm like, Interstellar type massive blockbuster action, man, would it be really cool if that was like Hal and John, from Green Lantern Corps, and then they tap in Elizabeth Debicki, and they're like Carol Ferris, and and I'm just joking around. I'm literally just joking around, but I'm glad that I'm not the only person looking at this and like, why not Green Lantern Corps? Why not Christopher Nolan make Green Lantern Corps? Have him come step back into the DC films and make a Green Lantern Corps movie. Like Inception with interstellar elements and the heroics of the Dark Knight trilogy. Wow, that would be quite something, right? I know he said he's no longer going to do any superhero films. He's retiring from superhero films. But you know who else said that? Hans Zimmer. He said that as well, right? He said after Batman BVS, he was like, I'm done with superhero films. Then he says, I'm back because this story is interesting. So he started doing Dark Phoenix, and now he's doing Wonder Woman 1984. So he's scoring for that. So Christopher Nolan may be in the same boat. I don't know. Thomas Polito, who is a scooper, and he's just wishing this as well. But he brought up something interesting. He looked up the dates for Green Lantern Corps. Now, Green Lantern Corps was originally scheduled for June 19th of 2020. Guess when is Christopher Nolan's movie coming out? Scheduled movie is July 17th of 2020. Sure, it's a month away. It's a month off, but things could change, right? And that is a lot. That's a clear winner for Warner Brothers. They have a movie, a Dark Knight trilogy, not Dark Knight trilogy, a Christopher Nolan event film, which is a massive blockbuster film, and then Green Lantern Corps is supposed to come a month after, and then Wonder Woman 1984. I mean, it just feels like there's so much. But if they combine Green Lantern Corps and Christopher Nolan's event film and becomes a Green Lantern Corps film, that would be so amazing. That would be so amazing, and I think a lot of other fans think so as well. That's why we're throwing the idea around like it's gonna happen. Like, no, it's not gonna happen, but like it's gonna happen. And if it does happen, oh my God, it's amazing. That would be quite something. I don't know if it's going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. But I think the idea of that would be so amazing. And the discussion that, people, even though they say they retire from something, they always come back. Hayao Miyazaki came back out of retirement to do more animated films, Christopher Nolan maybe had an idea. Maybe he had, and may not be Green Lantern Corps, but could be something heroic. He had an idea, and if it's an idea that he looked at it and he's really passionate about, and he's looked at it and is like, I could really make this work. That's an interesting take. That's an interesting story. I want to be able to tell it. Then he's going to come back and do it. He's going to come back and do a superhero film one day. May not be Green Lantern Corps, but I think maybe one day he eventually will. As superhero films are like the norm now, it's like the next massive action blockbuster. All of a sudden, regular blockbuster films with guns and stuff like that, all of a sudden it doesn't seem as massive action blockbuster as a superhero film. You know what I'm saying? So a comic book movie has that genre set in stone. That summer blockbuster is always going to be like a comic book movie, unless it's like Fast and Furious and something like that. But even that is like super heroic. I mean, the stuff they do in that is incredibly super powered. So, I'm just saying, Christopher Nolan, come back for a superhero film. I would not dislike that at all. I would love it. Okay, but now ending on this, so a little bit update on that Zack Snyder Director's Cut event. He announced today on Vero that, this is huge, that they are going to do a live stream of the question and answer panel for each day on Vero. Wow! So they're not only do we get to see it, the live question and answers, but everybody in the world will get to see this live stream event. So that is incredibly awesome for all the fans who weren't able to make it from all across, from different countries who weren't able to make it to this event. Zack Snyder is making it possible for all of us, every one of us, to be in there as well. And I'm kind of happy about that because I could only make it to the BVS one. So I'll be really happy to put my earphones on, tap into the live stream of the other two events. Probably not the Friday one. I'll be on the plane at that point, or maybe before the plane, but I'll be somewhere, and hopefully I'll get to listen to it. But if not, hopefully they record it and we can listen to it later or watch it later. But that is a great thing. This is starting to become like a Snyder Con, not the Director's Cut event, not a little art house, but it's like a Snyder Con. Snyder fans rejoice, and so we'll get to see a lot more about that. And there's a lot of interesting questions on the Vero post right now. Hopefully he gets to answer a lot of it, and also some of the bigger questions that you guys probably want an answer on, or a hint, or even a political answer, but some type of answer to anything in regards to the Snyder Cut. All right, guys. Well, that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.